My car does what I like to call the thing. Here we go. Slowly goes down until it tries to near stall. It doesn't want to do the thing on camera, but what happens is that the airbox here is open and it instantly kills the mass airflow sensor because this is... Well, it kills the engine. The mass airflow sensor kills the engine because the airbox is stuck open. It won't seal correctly, and the pin on the backside isn't on there either because it doesn't reach. So, I got a new airbox. It's 92, 93 in Florida. Definitely have some water with me. This will keep me alive. First step, disconnect the battery. This might go on record for the worst tripod camera angle ever. At the same time, the last time I had my tripod in this position, I dropped it, and behind the camera is a downward slope onto concrete, and my phone took a direct hit, no bounce, and it's still fine. So what I'm going to do now with the battery disconnected, disconnect a lot of things. This may seem simple at first, but there's a lot that goes into this, and there's reasons why I didn't want to do this during the summertime, but I'm not going to wait a few months for this. With the power disconnected, I'm going to disconnect a few electrical things here. First being the mass airflow sensor. The Airbox came with the mass airflow sensor, so I'm going to use the one provided, even though this one works. There we go. And the screws here don't even hold this in, so I'm just going to pull that out. They really just don't do anything at all there. So you got to keep all parts organized. And I do have another mass airflow sensor in my house somewhere that I know works. This needs to come off. Also, this hose, I shouldn't even disconnect it from there. I should disconnect it from here. Of course I have a hose clamp on this one. These don't usually need hose clamps, but I put them on there because I wanted to. Ah, jeez, that's a stupid angle. Give me the hose clamp. Thank you. Owie. This just disconnects. This goes to the charcoal canister, but I'm gonna leave it like right there. Before I continue, I'm gonna clean the mass airflow sensor that came with the other Airbox because this thing is dirty and needs to sit for a while. Mass airflow sensor with mass airflow sensor cleaner. Do not use any other cleaner besides this. Gonna just night and day with the cleaner, and then a little bit in there too. I've done this multiple times before. Gonna make sure it's nice and clean. I think I could get the electrical connectors in there too, but they're not bad. I'm gonna leave them be. Then I'm gonna put this back into the Airbox. Now I believe I can just pull on this upward or outward or one-way word. It's just the ECU cooler it leads down to. I cannot remove that right now. I'm not going to then. So, air intake, hose. I didn't even consider this as a possibility. I don't like working on my car when it's 90+ degrees out because it's hot as heck outside. But I took the top part of the Airbox off and I did it in such a detailed manner on video, but my phone got way too hot and the camera stopped working. Dang. For the detailed recap, I unhooked the metal hook here, these two hoses that go to these two ports right here, and this hook, that, and then I bent, with this one still tightened, I actually bent this back and pried it off, and it just comes right off. So, yeah. This is also how you access your air filter, which mine is still new and clean, so I'm not going to do anything with it besides transfer it over. The new Airbox did come with the filter, but I'm not going to use it since I have my high flow one from Canon. Butterfly valve gets, this hose is weird. Oh wow, that's a tight hose. Some people actually delete this butterfly valve, but I'm not going to. I don't want to. It also doesn't just pull straight out. Don't just pull up on it. I'll show you why. That piece can go out of the way. And oh, I forgot to unbolt this. This is a long bolt here. I don't know how well is the camera getting any of this? Pretty darn well. Inside the Airbox is clean. The butterfly valve has this move. I'll show you the Airbox. I'll give details on the Airbox because a lot of people don't have it. I'll also show you why this one's actually broken. That coming out, yep. That can just go down there. What else? Before I can remove the bottom part of the airbox, I'm going to disconnect that ECU cooler, and I'm going to get the main hose off that goes into the throttle body. I don't think I need to loosen that anymore. I think it'll just come right off. Well, no, because it's in the wiring harness there. Gosh darn it. I have it hooked up to the wiring harness. Totally a win in my favor. Let me get on the other side. Not only is it better for me to pull off from right here, but you can also see what I'm doing. Trying not to break anything, mainly because it's on the wiring harness. Right here, there's the little wire loom that's on, so I'm just going to bring my finger back here and bend it in the correct direction. I don't really care if I break this plastic, it's not really needed. Plus, I have the new one. Oh, I'm just going to push the wiring harness out of here, actually. That'd make it easier. There we go. This loom here. That's the old air intake. I actually got the new one I'm going to use for that, just because why not? I'm going to put that off to the side as well. And I actually did need that space to get the bottom part of the airbox out, because will it just pull out? Let me show you what I'm doing. It will just slightly pull out down there. There's you're not gonna see that too well, are you? Will the flashlight help me? No, it won't. Right where my pointer finger is, there's a little spot that's going into the radiator support. Oh, also disconnect the coolant line so you don't rip it. That'd be great. I got that little piece out. Oh, is it mounted right there? No, it's not mounted right there. It should be a bolt underneath this fuse box, I guess. The valve would also be mounted here, but I should unzoom out. So it would be mounted here, and then there would be the valve that's there, but I don't have that valve there. Oh, I forgot this electrical connector before I yank it out. You don't just want to rip things out. It has so many connection points. There's the little blue valve underneath the airbox. I'll show that to you just a moment. Once I get this disconnected, maybe now it'll just come out. Oh wow, last time I took the bottom part of my airbox out, careful with right here because it can just destroy the radiator hose. Oh, there's still that piece that goes into the intake manifold. See, this way, don't just rip things out. Well, as I'm trying to rip things out. I got that off with some twisting and some prying, and hopefully now it just comes straight out. Yes, it does. There is this little piece right here, which I need to take this rubber part off, and it goes right there. But don't just pull it out, because you can actually break the radiator hose right there, which is also how I had to replace my radiator one time. Because that little nipple broke off and all the coolant came out, and yeah. At this rate, it would be recommended to leave something in the throttle body so that way no air or no particles and debris gets in there, but I'm going to leave it like this just because I'm not really too worried about it. Yeah, it should be fine. Also, I know the idler control valve is not bad. I cleaned it out, I replaced the gasket, bled the cooling system. I took the little motor piece off with the 5-point Torx bit, and I made sure that rotates, so the idler control valve is not bad. That's how I know it's the airbox. And for anyone who is curious, this is the ECU cooler. There's a little clip right here that attaches to, and then it just goes down into the, looks like the radiator itself, or maybe the part, no, just the radiator itself where it has the air cooling into it. I'm gonna leave that valve there, except I'm gonna take this valve. I have a lot of things going on here. Well, not a lot of things going on. I'm gonna take this valve. This goes to the charcoal canister. You'll see what I'm about to do with it. I'm here with Wandering Dog to show you a compare and contrast of the old and new part. So the old one is the top of it here. That's where the MAF Sensor goes. That's where one of the valves mounts onto it. There's a valve that has a hose going to the charcoal canister, goes to that one. That one, I believe, goes to the bottom part of the valve. Here's the bottom of it. K&N air filter. This thing is nice. You do clean it once every 75,000 miles, and I believe there's a little oil you spray into this. Hi, dogs. Hi. Hey, what you doing there? My old MAF sensor. It still works. I'm just going to use the new one provided. These screws never did anything. This thing basically never mounted. So I'm just going to leave that in there. And then this is the butterfly valve that people usually delete. It goes up and down. Hey, settle. So that valve that I thought I had with me, I left it outside. This goes into the charcoal canister. So on mine, I have, I believe, the top end, this one going into the airbox, and this one going into that hard line that leads to the charcoal canister. And I don't have any evap leak, but on that one, it's actually the reverse end. This is a side port of the valve, goes into the airbox instead. So I'm gonna just transfer the hoses, because I have these silicone hoses that I cut to length. I'm gonna leave that one as is. And if I get any codes, then I'll just switch the hose over. So this butterfly valve, it opens up and down, seals right there, and the entire airbox seals right there. Has this little gap for air as well. I believe it has to do with some idle stuff. I don't know how that works mostly. This can just come out, but on the bottom it has a clip right here, and I guess one right there, which one of them is broken off, but just push that in, and then this comes out. Don't just pull that out, you'll break the clips, but those don't really do anything. This seals no matter what. And then on the bottom of the airbox, you have this little valve here. I believe it just has something to do with this part. This part is like a gap of air. TSR Garage cut it open just to see what kind of gap of air it was, which I don't know how that works. It's just an air pocket, I guess. This goes to the intake manifold. That's why air pocket. This goes to the intake manifold with this little one-way valve. This goes into the butterfly valve, and then the airbox itself, the top part, airbox, and then the little thing over there, that valve that goes to charcoal canister, also goes into the air intake, the top part of the airbox. But that's enough how the broken one looks. Let's look at how the good one looks. Let me take the intake pipe off of it. MAF Sensor if it can stay on there. I believe it has the screw still outside. That's how it's supposed to look. Seals right there, seals right here and here, which are, these two tabs are broken on my old one. And on the back, let me take the MAF Sensor out before I drop it. I'd rather not do that. It's still technically drying, but it should be fine if I just leave it on the table. The valve, on this one, the side part of the valve, which also does get mounted here, it goes into the air intake, the large one, and then this is how this valve looks. I've never used these valves, I don't think they're broken. That goes into the intake manifold. But this one, let me unclip it here. Wish I had like a little table to do this. These are very hard on clips, which is good. And then disconnect the two hoses. Let me get a 0.5 zoom here. And then this part comes off, but careful with this, taking it off, because it can be a little finicky. Like this clip right here, it's a little weird. I don't know if I could even get it on camera. I might have to put this on the table. Here we have the airbox and a cat that decided to, actually I decided to join him. He didn't join us. I joined him. This is a little difficult to undo without breaking. I had to rotate that. Here's the air filter that came with, which is not bad, but I have mine, so I'm going to use that. The butterfly valve. What I did whenever inspecting this, I actually just ripped this out, which kind of broke those pins, but those two bottom clips don't really matter. It still seals regardless. It's a weird way to slide this thing in, so some people just delete this entirely, and if you do, then you just have to plug this hose right here. And just the same as the other one. Here's the back side of it, bottom side of it, part numbers. I actually do have to transfer over that little piece that holds onto the radiator hose, and I'm going to transfer over the hoses I have too. Currently I transferred over the little plastic piece that holds the radiator hose, and now I'm going to transfer over this, which is very difficult to pull off for some reason. Pliers, just give it a little bit of a twist, pull straight. No, it doesn't. Why not? Give me. Thank you. I appreciate it. This just goes directly to the intake manifold. This little small plug. I hate this thing. And then this hose. I hope these can all just come off nicely without any WD-40. It's mainly just these very tiny. I don't even know the inner diameter. If you want to replace your hoses with silicone ones, just get the ones that are the same inner diameter, then cut them to length. Wow, that's on there nicely. little bit of WD-40 wouldn't hurt, but it's fine. It's gonna take me a while. Getting the sleeve bit on the hose was also a chore. I remember that being fun. But, like, I'm sure the hoses that came with aren't leaking, except for like this one has a little crack in it. I don't know if you could even see that. That one has a crack in it, so I'm not gonna use that. Ooh, that was nice. Not for this one. A little bit of rotating, and it just comes right off. That goes to the butterfly valve. And this one's gonna be fine. I hopefully don't have to unmount the thing itself to get off. Can I have it? It's letting me have it. There we go. That hose too. I love this one. Can I have this one too? That'd make it so much easier. Oh, I don't think that one's gonna cooperate with me, is it? How about crap? Keeping all this in the footage. Just gonna pull that hose out. Pull up this one. Oh, that's not gonna come off. Please don't tell me I have to unmount the freaking valve to get this off. Rotate this hose. Oh, I kind of ripped the hoses. I ripped the hose. That shouldn't be an issue though. Shouldn't. It's fine if it's completely alright. I don't mind that at all. It's like a quarter of an inch, a little more, a little less shorter, but that shouldn't cause any issues. Putting it on is also a chore. What the heck? Ow. Ow. Why does this hose suck? Can I just like nudge it on there? Oh, what? I'm not unmounting this valve. I refuse. I just want it flush. Oh, I could. Nope, that just. Oh, okay, well, I unmounted the valve by mistake. Oh, it'll go back in there. That's fine. I don't let this hose just go on, dude. There we go. We got it as flush as possible. And then now this, I'm sure this screw wasn't doing anything. This isn't even the right screw. Wait, what is the mounting solution for this? You know what, I should just unmount the valve. That makes things so much easier. So down here, and this is the old bad one, right? Yeah, it's the old bad one. This screwdriver is really, I like the screwdriver a lot. Like, I'm not even transferring over the valve, I'm transferring over the screw that holds it in. Because this isn't the right screw. There's this little washer that goes into the plastic piece. Garbage and garbage. Take this little washer. Oh yeah, that's not even a washer, it's like a ring. It is a ring. Got the ring mounts up in there. And then this just folds in like that. There's a little, just like that. And then that screw goes in there. One moment, chat, I gotta do this in my lap. And push all the hoses and make sure all the hoses are good. Got that, and then get the screw in there. And then I will screw it in on camera, just gotta line it up first. There we go. Nice and tight, but that's as snug as it's gonna go. And that's alright. This goes to the butterfly valve, which I have yet to install. Actually, I'll install that afterward. And this end goes into the airbox, which it'll reach the airbox still, it's fine. And then this hose should be easier. since it's larger. Oh, yeah, it just came off, honestly. I didn't even have to do anything. And then I'm gonna take the larger hose from the top of this one, install it right here since this is the longer hose. These hose clamps are kind of irrelevant, and this bolt isn't even like tight. That's fine, doesn't really need to be that tight. Just like this. And then I have the other hose. Do I have? Oh, I do have it here. This one goes into the charcoal canister. I have like 5 of these valves. They all work. These valves are, I think, spring mechanism on the inside. I don't know entirely, but they don't really fail ever. That's also, I think the only way you would know if these valves actually like fail is if they somehow mechanically fail inside, somehow mechanically fail on the internals, or it's unplugged. Because whenever I was cleaning out my idler control valve a while ago, I turned my car on with it unplugged and it instantly threw in idler control valve code. No, excuse me. Which was very specific. I've never actually seen that before. This will need to get tightened up. But other than that, all the hoses are transferred over. This little radiator hose part is. I don't actually know what happened here. I don't know why it's destroyed. This entire thing is destroyed. So this part of the, no, I don't need that. This thing is officially junk. This is the good piece. I just need to tighten this bolt. Get the, it doesn't really, is this the one? Yeah, this is the one for this Airbox, so I'll just use it specifically. Hi doggos, you're cute. You know those 2 doggos over there, they're adorable. And then I'm gonna take my air filter. This is the literal best time to see, just to make sure that everything is, just make sure literally everything is cleaned up. Air filter is nice and clean except for this hair that can get out. 5 cats, 2 dogs. No, I don't want any hair in here. No. Come on. That press fits on there. This is the top of the Airbox, I think. This is the old one or this is the new one? This is the new one because this little tab on here is fine, that one's not. So I'm going to, this is a very stupid design for this thing, I'm just going to say it now. Like, the only reason I'm not putting a K&N or InGen air intake on here is because I already spent $50 on this filter, and the stock Airbox is already designed to perfection for this car. I really hate this Airbox design so much, honestly. So, I'm gonna try to, ooh. You could, oh, I didn't even, oh, I'm forgetting the butterfly valve. I hate this design so much, I feel like I'm gonna break it just by taking it off. Don't forget the butterfly valve, that will throw a code if you don't connect it. I'd rather not have to redo that. Want the hose to be nice and flush as much as possible, even though it's fine the way it is. I just need to be tightened up, that's alright. Then I have the other MAF sensor up there, which I'll mount in just a moment. If you ever change your air filter, do it the right way. This, you don't want to break. You don't want to break this. This thing was expensive. You can't find these anymore. That's a tight seal, dude. No wonder why this thing never clips. Also, I know the air filter isn't at fault because the other air filter is the same thickness as this one. It's just a really, really tight fit. Ooh. Yeah, they really make sure no other air gets in here besides right there. This thing is tight. And I really hope I can install this as one large piece in my car. I don't want to have to install them separately because that's going to be so fun to do. And then I believe this is the new master. They both work. I cleaned this one out. I think the old one's still outside actually. No, the old one's right there. I left it with that. Yeah, just... This one looks more clean, I'm going to use it. The screws for it are actually also still outside. But then, let's see. This piece connects up here. These don't actually have hose clamps from the factory. I just added them because I wanted to. And they look pretty, in my opinion. They look pretty. And then this one goes nope. This one goes, I'm gonna ride it this way actually. Right here. Yeah. Brand new stock airbox in all of its glory. Let's just get a walk around without the mass airflow sensor in there because I don't want to drop it. Those are sensitive. So, top the airbox, all the clips. This is what it looks like. This little piece, this sucks. I don't know why that's it. Hate it. This side, how the airbox looks. If this throws a code, since I'm technically switching the hoses, this one was into the airbox last time, or on the old one, I will switch the hoses around. But I believe this is how it is. This is how it looks on the bottom end. I don't know where that goes, probably to a harness or something. There's technically supposed to be these little pins sticking out, or parts of plastic sticking out there for the butterfly valve, but it's not needed. Yep, that's how it is. Also, quick shout out to Norco Selling Shop on Instagram for supplying me with this airbox. I paid $100 for it plus $60 to ship across from California to Florida. Here's his business card. If it'll focus, that'd be great. Focus? There we go. And I bought a lot of stuff from this guy, including the rear drum to disc conversion from a few years back. Legit guy. Good parts. This was very fun to source. But that's what you get when you work on a 25-year-old car. If you're here just for the airbox, then skip to this timestamp on screen. From this point onward, I'm going to disconnect the intake manifold because it is dirty, and I have a new gasket for it because a long time ago I thought my knock sensor was bad, so I bought an intake manifold gasket. But now I just have it, and this gasket's 25 years old anyway, so might as well replace it. I will be removing the throttle body with four, I believe these are 14mm, 2 nuts, 2 bolts. I'm not going to be disconnecting the coolant system at all, so this will be a little fun to try to do. But I'm going to follow this video by TRQ, which they do it on like a newer Corolla, but it's still the same concept. I'll try to record most of it, but not only is my phone trying to not overheat in the Florida sun, but also my phone battery is getting kind of low, so I'll record what I can. 12mm with an extension. Can I get past the radiator hose, please? That'd be great, one way or another. This throttle body gasket is new, so I will not be replacing it. Can I get to that? I can. Oh, wow, that's tough. The wiring harness is in the way. I don't think I'll have to disconnect those wiring harnesses. I shouldn't have to. Just like, wow. Kinda got it. I felt it rotate just a little bit. Why is that so on? Why is it on there so nice? What about this one? That was easy. What about this one? Oh, did I just round that? No, I did not. But I gotta be careful or else I will. Oh, wow. It's on there top. I didn't even have to. I'm not even like afraid to hurt myself or anything. That's just. I'm kind of afraid to hurt myself. The clutch line is right there. I don't have any power tools. Maybe not an extension. Maybe I'm just losing torque without using. Let me use a smaller extension. Because I know I'm losing some torque there, but I also need the distance. Can I even reach it? I've never had this much trouble with this bolt. Oh, wow. That was on there really tight. I torqued these down last time. Let me get the other extension in there. That was That was on there, dude. Oh my goodness. The plan is to move the throttle body upward that way, which means I'm also going to disconnect this hose. But I'm going to remove the throttle cable. Just don't want that to go there. 14mm wrench. Loosen up this nut. That can wiggle off. This just comes out like this. I should not do that, so let me put my phone down so I could unscrew that mistake that I just made. Thought I could do that with one hand and I couldn't. Get the throttle cable off. Now, I will not need to, as long as I don't touch, well I kinda did, but it won't need to be readjusted, it's fine, the throttle cable's fine. If I could even get it out. At this point, the throttle body cannot come off because there's not enough slack in the coolant line back here to get past these two top studs. So either you could remove these studs, which these might honestly just press out with a hammer, but I'm not willing to do it. Also, I think they actually unscrew from here. But other than that, there's one bolt down here for the intake manifold, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to keep this bracket on there with the manifold. I might take it off in a little bit. I actually don't even know if I can remove that right now. I don't think I have the stuff to remove it. And this wiring harness will need to move out of the way just by clipping out a little bit, I think. I forget how it's up. That did it. And this one, that did it. Wiring harness moves out of the way. It doesn't need to go all the way. It doesn't need to completely move. And then, hopefully, these look like, are these 12s or 14s? These are 12s. There's 5 bolts holding on the intake manifold, and then that's it. Oh, and that one down there. These intake manifold bolts are a lot tighter than I thought, so my solution is WD-40 and more torque. I hope you enjoy this small edit of me breaking all of these loose. I hope you enjoyed that small edit of me breaking all those loose. Here's the big reveal. I'm gonna try to take it off and slide it to the left at the same time. Did I not take this? I did not take that bolt out yet. God damn it. Alright, here's the big reveal. I just want to take this out. Oh. Do I have to remove it? I just want to remove this and then the throttle body can come off afterward. Really? Can I just do that? Please? Not the coolant reservoir getting in the way. That bolt's not an issue, it's the throttle body that's getting in the way here. I just wanna... Coolant reservoir bottle is screwing with me. I wanna pull this out so I could slide it this way, but it's not sliding. Dang it. Good news, these studs are 5mm sockets that I'm going to remove these because that would make this so much easier. I missed a detail. There's this hose back here that leads all the way up to the brake master cylinder right there. That hose goes to right there. Gotta remove that. I also forgot this hose and this hose, which also have to come off. This PCV valve leads into the intake manifold. This one from the valve cover leads into the throttle body. Don't mix those up. Some guy mixed those up a little while ago on the Celica forum and he had some idling issues. Don't mix those up. I've conquered the intake manifold. This little hose on the back here was so weird. Put a little bit of WD-40 on it and that's fine. So here's a very good shot of everything that's happening here. Intake ports, which that... Can I get a flashlight in there? Or at least for me. Ooh, bro, the intake valves are so tiny. That one's opened up. That's cool. I'm not gonna clean the inside of that. It's not recommended. And I barely even had to clean the old gasket material off of this. Let me turn off the flashlight. So this is also how you would replace your knock sensor, which mine looks really good. Weird wiring harness going on here. I have no idea what this connector does. This one right there. That. You have some weird hoses going along here for the cooling and the idle control valve system. This is where your starter is. Oh man, do I have to take the intake manifold off to replace the starter? That's the engine block, alternator, lower radiator hose. Man, you could do so much stuff with the intake manifold off. Oh my goodness, this is so much more free. But the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to clean that off, but I'm going to stick some paper towels in there so that way nothing gets in there. Also, do not forget these paper towels whenever you are putting the intake manifold back on. You do not want to keep those in there. Here's the old intake manifold gasket. It's not bad, but like I had a new one and I wanted to replace it, and I also wanted to clean off the intake manifold. Can I even like take this off with one hand? I can. It's oily. I need to clean this off. I don't know if I don't think I'm gonna clean off the inside of that, but the throttle body gasket, it's new, but it's actually very oily. I don't know, that's just an oil leak. Nothing I can do about it besides fix it eventually. Before I reassemble everything, I gotta take the paper towels out of here, and I also did clean this off camera. I didn't need a razor blade, but the guy in the video did. But I'm just going to take the paper towels off and put the gaskets on, and I'll clean stuff up a little bit before I put the manifold on if it needs anything, but not really. It can all look like this. The new gasket fits on so nicely. Felpro, by the way, Felpro gasket. Here's the part number or whatever. Yeah. The old gasket, it feels like brand new. It's not even been, it's been a little over a year. It's still good. It's going back on. The torque spec for the nuts and bolts along the top will be on screen now as I have to look them up still. These two little brackets go on the intake manifold on the top two nuts on it, and I contemplated painting them, but I just cleaned them because they're fine. They're still painted. They go right here and here before you put the nut on. Right, check this out. And then the bottom bolt also gets torqued down to 20. I'm going to slide the throttle body on there and then slide in this little stud in there, and then it goes in, but it doesn't have a torque spec, so just tighten it, but don't over tighten it. 18 on the throttle body with the gasket and all the nuts and bolts in place. Also, those little studs that are on the nuts, I did not tighten that down a lot because it didn't take a lot to break it loose. There's no torque spec, but like barely even snug is how much I tightened that to. Like, didn't do much. For the airbox, I believe it's ready to go back in now. I'm just gonna get it in there without breaking anything. Oh, well, wait a minute. That's why. That's completely a why. MAF sensor wiring is in the way. We did not have it in the way. And all the wiring harnesses somewhere tucked up in there. Or should I just like, this would be way easier actually if I just took that off first and put that on there. So that way I don't have to like, yeah, that'd be way easier actually. Alright, good. I heard that pop, it slid in. I don't have a mounting bolt for the bottom part of the airbox, but I don't need one. Yeah, it's physically in its spot. Radiator hose went back to its spot. Other half of this hose needs to go to the charcoal canister. I should probably get some of this on camera, but I'm just trying to get this done at this rate. It's reverse order. Does that hose reach? I think it reaches. I hope it does. I don't know where I was when I was recording last. All I know is that I put it all back together. I got every hose in there. I got everything plugged in. I got everything cleaned up. Got everything looking nice. The intake manifold is night and day, at least compared to what it was last. It looks really good to me. For how everything is, it looks really good. The airbox is all in there and good. Let's hear what it sounds like. I have no clue why, but this thing just suddenly stopped doing its thing. But I don't care. Battery was unplugged for a long time and it's hot out. Still learning the fuel trim, so it's alright if it dials down like that, but sounds normal to me. Hell yeah. That's how you do it.